the cat's name was Keanu.
What do you mean? What was the cat's name?
No, but the other one. Yeah, and
it was
then
named Iglesias.
New Jack.
New Jack. Yeah,
New Jack is when he's in the gang.
This cat is so cute.
Are you a cat person, Irene?
Oh, I'm a cat person through and through.
Didn't you have like some cat that had drama with the other cats in the yard or something?
Well, my cat daddy used to be a stray. Well, he was a stray. And I had to take him to the doctor because he got in a fight with another cat after he hit puberty, naturally. And he got his ass beat, so he's a house cat now.
Fantastic. Okay. Fresh out the oven, it's Cinema Bums. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Wade.
Cinema Bums is a podcast where we watch through every single movie in popular film franchises, one each week, to try and track how the storytelling changes over time. Today we are beginning our new miniseries, Can't Stop the Peeling. Can't Stop the Peeling. Covering all the films written by Jordan Peele. We will fully spoil today's film, but we will not spoil any future entries in the series. Wade, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be discussing these late night peelings with you. My pinky kind of hurts today. So by the time this episode comes out, we'll know if it was like just a cramp or if I have to get a new pinky. So I'm just putting this in there for posterity.
What happened to your pinky?
I think it's just because of how I hold my mouse at work. Just because I'm like always typing and on the computer at work now, so I think that it's.
Do you grip the mouse extra hard? I don't understand.
No, it's just like it's like a small mouse, so it only has room for like 4 of my fingers.
Oh,
it's just like doing one of these.
Yeah, the pinky's the one.
Oh, okay, I see.
That isn't on there.
All right, and listener, you might be wondering who's this phantom voice sympathizing with Wade.
No, let's not say sympathizing.
Okay, well, the voice talking to Wade. Today we are honored to have a special guest. She's an artist, a cosplayer, and a model, perhaps best known to our audience for being the second hardest working actor in Atlanta. Please welcome Irene Polk.
Hello. It's
Irene,
good
how
to
are
be
you?
here.
Yeah.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm excited to talk about cats and other nonsense today.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're so glad to have you here. Have you seen this movie before?
I think I saw it when it first came out, I believe.
And have you seen the other Jordan Peele movies?
I've seen a few. I know I saw Get Out, obviously. Us. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I think those are the only other two.
Those are the two. The two that we're doing for this series, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I think he was in some other stuff. So, fan of his work? Yes? No?
Oh, absolutely. I think that when you think about, it's at least specifically, I know this Keanu isn't a horror movie, but I know at least when you specifically think about horror movies, you kind of just think about white people and you kind of think about black people dying immediately or the one guy making it. So I think it's very interesting to see the horror lens through, you know, an African American, a black experience. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, this movie, as we've alluded to, not quite a horror movie. This movie, Keanu, came out in 2016. So this film is about two cousins, Rel and Clarence. Rel has just been broken up with by his girlfriend, who we never see, but apparently meant a lot to him, so much so that his life is a complete shambles at the beginning of this film. And then a miracle comes into his life. A beautiful little kitten named Keanu that is the most adorable thing. And, like, it's a joke in the movie that everyone falls in love with this cat, but it's completely and totally believable because everyone watching the movie also falls in love with this cat. So then he's like, Keanu has reignited my love for life. Rel's cousin Clarence, his wife, is going to be out of town for the weekend. She's asked him to try and loosen up over the weekend because we see him being very
stiff.
Yeah, he's just very stiff. Yeah, he's so keyed up all the time. And she's like, just let loose, do you a little bit this weekend. And we see that he's going to try and do that with Rel. But then things get a little sidetracked when their cat gets catnapped by a gang that mistakes their house for their drug dealer's house who lives right next door. And things go south. They have to impersonate two assassins, two bloodthirsty assassins. the Allentown brothers, who are these other guys you see them killing people at the beginning, and we're like, uh-oh. And then they have to convince the Blips, who are a gang, that they are in fact these murderers and not the two like very sweet, if a little uptight guys that they actually are. Hilarity ensues. Along the way, Rel meets and has a romance with High C, played by Tiffany Haddish, who at first you think is a hardened criminal, and then it turns out that she is a stone-cold killer cop, which is also kind of equally alarming at the end of the movie.
Literally a murder.
That is this movie. It reminds me a lot of Pineapple Express, and also of The Big Lebowski, as I was watching it, are the two movies that kept coming to mind, with the kind of like wandery stoner comedy that sometimes gets really violent. Mm-hmm. So wait, will you give us the stats on this film, please?
So this movie is kind of the Key and Peele movie.
Oh, yeah. Should have led with that.
No, that's okay. But I say that because it was directed by Peter Atencio. This is the only film he's ever directed, but he also directed every episode of Key and Peele. So it's very much bringing their creative team. It was also written by Jordan Peele and Alex Rubens, and Rubens wrote for Key and Peele, and this is also his only movie. So it's very much taking that creative team of the show onto the movie. And this is the first film that Jordan Peele wrote. The score is by Steve Jablonsky, who did the music for Transformers, which I think is very much like calling the shot.
Yeah.
It runs 1 hour and 40 minutes.
We'd love to hear it.
I think the pacing was fine. I don't know. I feel like you didn't really get to see Rel spend enough time with the cat before the cat got kidnapped for me to be like, okay, it hasn't been that long. You care about the cat this much. Like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really relying on how cute the cat is to do a lot of work.
Yes, yes. Well, I think by the time it gets to the end of the movie, though, you're like, oh, this is just like what it is. They'll lose life and death stakes over this cat.
Right,
and
the cat is like a
willing to
talisman
throw
in a way. Like, whoever holds the cat is just entranced.
Because the end escalates like 5 times with increasingly violent situations.
Yes.
And I love that they're never like, maybe the cat isn't worth this.
No. At no point.
This film was released April 29th, 2016 by Warner Brothers Pictures. It is a major studio film. Had a budget of $15 million, which means it would have needed to make about $30 million to break even. Made $21 million. So a little bit of a box office flop.
Yeah.
It was also critically liked. It got a 63 on Metacritic, which I bring up because I feel like it's pretty rare that we see like big studio movie with like a marketing push that critics are really into. Like everyone who sees it likes it, but just doesn't get seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot more rare than like movies everyone sees that people don't like.
That people don't like, yeah.
But I will say to that point that this film opened the week before Captain America: Civil War.
Okay, unfortunate.
Yeah, and this movie
for them.
This movie made $21 million. That movie made $1.2 billion.
Yeah, they didn't stand a chance. Sorry. Apologies, Keanu and the crew.
So it feels like they could have maybe picked a different weekend to put this thing out. My review quote was from April Wolf at The Village Voice, who writes, "Sure, anyone can film a cat and America will love it. But director Peter Atencio elevates cat videos to an art form with gorgeous slow-motion tracking shots surrounded by explosions that would make Michael Bay proud. Key and Peele might have a special kind of magic they've brought to their first feature, but it's also a simple formula. Keep saving the cat."
That's what I said. I said he read this book. Jordan Peele read the book Save the Cat and was like, read the first chapter and was like, okay, I got this.
Let's do it.
The rest of this out the window.
I will say, though, about the effects, for all the nonsense they had that cat doing, especially at the end, it did look really good.
Yeah.
Like, it never looked too cheap or too fake. It looked pretty good with the tracking that they did on the cat.
It really did. And it made me wonder, especially after this article that I read about animal actors in the movie Saint Maud, specifically a bug in that movie, how like well trained that cat must have been, like what kind of stunts that cat was actually doing, how much of that was real, and how much of that was like digital effects. I mean, but it was definitely like in the scenes where it would like run up and claw on the chair, like it was actually doing that to like untie his hands.
I think the cat is always real. I think sometimes they have just filmed the cat in front of a green screen and dropped it in to everything else going on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I'm pretty sure it's never a CGI cat. It also was 7 cats.
Oh, I believe that.
There were 7 cats that apparently looked enough alike that they all played Keanu.
That's awesome.
And Tiffany Haddish adopted one after the film and still has it.
That's so cute.
Irene?
Yes.
Question for you.
Okay.
This film, Keanu, flop or bop?
I'd say it was a bop. Like, obviously it wasn't worth it for enough people to go to the theater to get their money back, but
yeah.
I think it was a very cute movie. I appreciate the cat love. I feel like a lot of this stuff is usually about dogs, and there's not, like, nearly enough cat love, because cats, you can't just, like, cats need to be respected. You know what I'm saying? People are obsessed with, like, the blind following of dogs, that they're, like, super loyal, and it's true, but once you get a cat to, like, respect you and like, you guys are, like, best friends for life, and I really love the cat love. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was ridiculous, and I love ridiculous, stupid movies. I love that Key and Peele also played what were they? The two, like,
the Allentown brothers.
Yeah, the Allentown brothers. I was like, okay, y'all.
They had some crazy names, too. It was like, I'm not going to get this right.
It was
but
like Oil was one of them.
Was it Oil and Smoke?
Yeah, I
something.
think so.
It was like, and you wouldn't know it unless you read the credits, like what their names were, but it was pretty cool. Are they zombies? They come back to life twice after being shot. What's up with them?
But, like, if that's how Alleytown people are, what made the other guy think that he could have a conversation with them? Like, that they would talk the way that Rel and Clarence talk.
That's a good point.
It's also, like, I could tell that it was Key pretty easy, but, like, for most of the movie, I was like, is that Jordan Peele? Because he looks so weird.
Yeah.
Almost like Crow hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Keanu Reeves' wigs at first.
There is like this strange thing of like this movie being called Keanu. Wait, the cat talks with Keanu Reeves' voice at one point. Is this right?
Yes.
It does.
That is correct.
Okay. Never mind. I was going to say something really dumb about how Keanu Reeves doesn't show up in this movie.
I was going to say, when the movie first came out, my perception was like, oh, this must be a parody of like all the movies that Keanu does, where it's just like firefights all the time, and how he's like, it's a joke about him always wanting to save his animal, like he wants to save his dog in
John Wick,
in the John Wick movies.
Yes.
So I kind of thought it was going to be like that, and it's not quite, but you kind of still get that feeling that they have that relationship with the cat.
They asked Keanu Reeves to do the cameo. And he said no. And then when the trailer for the movie came out, he watched the trailer and called them back and asked if he could still do it.
That's hilarious.
So he recorded it like right before the movie came out.
What poor fool was voicing the cat before, like in between getting Keanu and then getting him back? Okay, Wade.
Yeah.
Flop or bop?
Oh, bop. Bop, bop, bop.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the movie was very funny. I like movies in this genre a lot, like this One Crazy Night genre.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought this was like a good addition to it. I think like the performances that Key and Peele are both giving are so good. Like I think that's what really anchored the movie for me, is just like how funny they are all the time and how much fun it is to watch them doing everything they're doing in this movie.
Keegan-Michael Key's physical comedy in this movie is unbelievable, and it's like he's fully embodied both the character that his character ends up playing and his original character in such like a layered and silly but also like really kind of heartfelt way. You're like, oh, this is so cool.
He is so funny to watch as both of the personas.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like a classic comedy duo, right?
Yeah.
It's just like tall, handsome, aloof, awkward man and like short, scraggly, smooth talking man. Like, it's just funny watching them together. And I do think there are a little bit of hints of Jordan Peele's writing that he's going to bring to all the horror stuff in this movie. Emmett, Keanu, flop, or bop?
It's a bop. unquestionably. Loved it. Couldn't get enough of it, honestly. I wish there was another comedy written by Jordan Peele or another. I mean, I know there's comic elements, really. That's like something I feel like I think about often about what's so cool about Us and Get Out is that there are, like, in the middle of horribly grisly stuff, there is, like, funny stuff too.
Yeah.
In that, which is, I think, like, why those, like, work so well too.
I mean, there are 5 seasons of Key and Peele.
Well, true. There's that. They could go back to the archives.
I love that. Is it Anna Faris? I love that she played herself. I thought that was ridiculous. I was like, the samurai sword. I'm like, come on, girl.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Also, that part is very strange because later you're like, wait, none of those people actually died. But in the moment, I feel like it's some of the most shocking violence in the whole thing because you don't expect anything to really, like, get crazy, and then it does.
Yeah, I would like to know how they really didn't actually die. Because don't we see them, like, shot through the back and, like, totally dead?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And he's pretty messed up about it. Rel is pretty messed up about it.
He was traumatized.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
And, like, I feel like even if he knows later that wasn't real, that experience is like still with him of, like, seeing somebody get shot in front of him. Which
and by the end of the movie, they're both killers. Like,
that's it.
Yeah. That is the gateway drug to them killing like 30 people each. When Anna Faris came up, I kept being like, "Who is that?" And then they say her name in the movie, and I was like, "Oh, that's who it is." And then I thought that we were going to see Chris Pratt because this is when they were married. And I was like, is Chris Pratt also home? Is he about to come downstairs?
In the back?
That's hilarious. What about the scene where they're all in the car waiting for, like, 45 minutes while Rel and Heisey are in the Anna Faris's house, and Clarence is just in there with the other gang members getting them to listen to Boy George. Or wait,
George
Michael, not Boy George.
George. I thought that was really funny. I don't know. It's hard. It's just funny. It's like I'm trying to put like logic to it, but it's just silly.
It was good.
Wait, is there any behind the scenes drama you would like to drop on us?
A little bit, not much. We've already mentioned a lot of it. I should mention that Keegan-Michael Key is allergic to cats.
Okay.
Really?
You'll note that only Jordan Peele wrote this movie, not Keegan-Michael Key. But apparently he was just, like, doped up on allergy meds the whole time they were filming it handle it.
That is hilarious. Yeah, be surrounded by 7 cats, I suppose. You have to.
And you do see him in the movie not ever really get too close to the cat.
Yeah, now that you say that, I'm like, I guess.
That's true.
Do you think he actually do you think there was a stunt person, or do you think he actually did the wall jump when he does it in that one scene? He gets so excited about it.
If that was him, then gosh darn it, I could do a wild jump right now. That could not have been him. There's no way.
You think it was really Jordan Peele when he does it at the end?
I don't know, because I was thinking about, like, how hard is that move? Like,
it's hard, Emmett.
Let's see it,
Emmett.
What do you mean? Why don't you give
do
it a try?
right now. Believe in yourself.
I think I'd bust my ass in this room, honestly.
Oh, sure, it's the room.
Yeah, it's the room.
It's the room.
It's not. Yeah, if I put my foot up against the wall, it would go through it. You don't need any of that. You notice that he does that on a concrete wall.
Right, okay.
That's such a cool moment, too, when he grabs the cat and he runs up the wall. Okay, wait, do y'all think there's, like, a thing going on with, like, you know how the cat at the end is, like, he has to be a kitten forever? Like, there's this strange thing where Tiffany Haddish is like, oh, he's got a rare disease, he's gonna be a kitten forever. And you're like, is that what's up with
Yeah,
that?
I didn't really know what that meant. I don't know what she was trying to say when she said that.
I don't either. But then I was thinking about how the whole thing is that Rel is, like, such a sweet and, like, cuddly guy, and, like, so not the persona that he takes on of being a murderer to, like, go and get this cat back. And at the end, he talks about how, like, in prison they got so much respect just because they had killed the Allentown brothers that they didn't even have to, like, change their voice anymore. They didn't have to, like, put on the character anymore. I wondered if that had something to do with, like, the kitten staying a kitten, like, the cat getting to stay a kitten as, like, it's, like, a representation of him in some metaphorical way of, like, him getting to, like, retain some of his sweetness and his innocence even in like that situation. But maybe I'm reading way into it.
I mean, that's definitely a very deep interpretation. I was just thinking, oh, they're trying to pull a sequel out of us.
Yeah, I feel like it was a joke that he would always be this cute.
Yeah.
That's what I took from it. But I think that thing you're talking about is very much there, Emmett. Actually, I included this note, skipping down a little bit. So Keegan-Michael Key, this is from an interview with him. Him and Jordan Peele are both biracial. And he said, I think the reason Jordan and I became actors is because we did a fair amount of code switching growing up, and we still do, which made us interested in acting. And I feel like that's sort of my extrapolating why this film is about it. But I think there's something like in this film that everyone is playing two roles, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously the lead guys, but also like High C is someone, the weed dealer is like pretending to be a Rastafarian, and he's actually not. Like, even like the wife is pretending like not to like the weird thing that Clarence is doing, and then she likes it at the end. So I feel like there's something in this movie about like everyone playing two sort of like identity roles that they're switching between all the time.
I also think that as it comes to the cat, I feel like the cat brought out, well, I would say the best, but maybe also the worst out of the people who had the cat at the time. So I kind of think that may tie into it as well.
Everyone is willing to do anything for the cat.
I was also thinking about like how much about their like the performative nature of what they're doing, and how like they break down those walls, especially in the van scene where they're like start talking about like scars and stuff, and the other guys start to open up, and then they turn it on Clarence, and he has to show him his appendix scar. But like there is a moment of like getting to like, I don't know, of getting to like share and open up in ways that I feel like, you know, in that performance of masculinity where you are like nothing can hurt you and you're so bad, like there's something to that is like alienating, and then there's ways to like, I don't know, open up, and that like everybody, even the more minor characters, get a chance to do that is pretty cool. And
also in that lifestyle, I think that gang related, violent, you have to be hardened, you have to kind of put your feelings to the side because you don't know when you're gonna die or when someone's gonna betray you or something like that. So I do agree that was a great moment where they kind of got to get to know each other.
Yeah, and also, like, Clarence and Rel are talking the way that they think gang members talk, right?
Yeah.
The way that, like, they see it on TV or whatever. Uh-huh. And I like that all of the actual gang members are, like, very disoriented by that.
Yeah.
Like, very confused by whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
Because we see, like, in the car scene, you see that most of those guys are, like, really sweet, regular ass dudes in terms of personality.
Yeah.
And not sort of like this crazy thing that Keegan-Michael Key is doing, yelling in the strip club. I also liked that they only played Future in the strip club.
Right. That's the only song that they got the money that they were able to pay for was the Future song.
They had other songs throughout, but they were like the only thing that gets played in the strip club is Future. That feels very 2016.
That tracks.
I love this in the realm of, you said, One Crazy Night movies. I love any movie that ends with a car parked across somebody's yard in a way that it's not supposed to be. That's always entertaining to me, especially having lived in Atlanta for 2 years, where you would see that all the time. You just walk around and be like, oh, why is there a car? Like, we live next to this old dude who has always had like 3 cars parked all across his yard. Yeah, it was crazy, you know? I love it especially when like that gag where you think somebody's about to get shot, and then wham, in comes the car and just cleans their clock, dude. Yeah.
Cleans their clock.
That part is so hype. Yeah, I feel like you got a lot of like the tropes of the genre of these kinds of movies, like even just going to a strip club, like the sequence where they accidentally get high and then it's like a weird animated trippy dance sequence, the undercover cops, trashing the house.
Yeah.
Even I feel like fights with a celebrity is even like a thing.
Yeah. It's like the scene in The Hangover where they get punched out by Mike Tyson.
And in I think This Is the End, they keep getting like robbed by Emma Watson. So I feel like that's like a real thing too. How did you guys feel about like the action movie elements?
I liked it. I don't think it was too overdone. Like, there wasn't anything I think was too intricate. There were, like a few firefights and Keegan Key doing a backflip that one time for the gram. But I think it was like spaced out enough, and like it wasn't too, I don't think it was too beyond belief. I think it kind of got a little bit more ridiculous at the end, where they had the cat doing more like acrobatic things to like actively save the Clarence character. But I actually liked the action a lot. I don't think it was overdone or anything like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of these movies that are like action comedies run that risk of falling into the third act being just like all explosions and all action escalation. And leaving the comedy stuff behind. But I feel like this movie always brought the comedy with it, like everywhere it went. And the whole ending of the movie was like character motivated. Like the little arcs all tie up all at once, which is really satisfying. Like when the creepy guy who's been harassing his wife on the road trip steps out of the car right as they walk up, and he punches him out. When he punches him out, it's like that moment didn't have to happen in that scene, like in the middle of all that escalation. And like an action movie would have put it somewhere else, but because it's a comedy, it's like about that tumbling escalation of it all. It's pretty exciting.
To speak of that scene, I was hoping that they would have got to whatever place they were vacationing somehow, because for me it was weird that after the wife saying that the guy hit on her, they drove home together. Like, I guess it was with the kids, so what was he gonna do? But still, I was like, I wish they would have like the gang would have took a pit stop there and like beat his ass or something. But
yeah, I did think there was a chance that we were gonna see them all come up and like, I don't know, like hang that guy upside down by his feet from a bridge or something.
I thought at first that the wife was maybe in on it by how like nonchalant she is about. I thought it was perhaps orchestrated that the other dude's wife wasn't coming with them. Yeah,
I thought that at first too. I feel like they did that on purpose to kind of make it seem like she might have been like cheating on him, or this was like a thing that they were doing. But
who's the protagonist of this film?
I guess obviously Rel. I think he just wants to feel love and to have love. At the beginning of the movie, he has lost that, and it has him in this, dark, deep place where he doesn't feel like he can really get out of until he finds something that can make him feel worth it. I also have a hard time with this because, like, in my opinion, especially with Rel and Clarence becoming once again full-blown killers by the end of this movie, it's like, to me, it's like, who deserves this cat more than the people before them? Right? It's like, the gang member dude was whatever, but he really loved the cat. He treated the cat well. The guy who was over the mafia or whatever that was, he treated the cat nice. It's like everybody who had the cat was either a killer at the beginning or becomes a killer. So it's kind of like, did Rel deserve this cat any more than the other two did? I don't know. But I do think that overall, obviously the story follows him. And Clarence. I also think Clarence is probably just like a side protagonist of wanting to come more into his own skin and being more out there and not just being like this kind of stoic, put together guy, and try to be kind of like, I don't know, be a little bit more spontaneous to excite his wife, be a little bit more of a bad boy to save his marriage, I guess.
Yeah, he says, these drinks are for my marriage when he's in the strip club.
Wade, who do you think the protagonist is?
Yeah, I think it's probably Peele. It's hard because it is like pretty much a two-hander, and I feel like they also both change at the end. But I feel like it is Peele, and I feel like there's something there in his relationship with High C too. Like that feels like something big tied into his character arc that sort of develops. Also, like going from the very funny weird moment he has with the police at the beginning where he's like waving at them and turning down the music to the end where he's like dating a cop is a real character arc. I also was like, probably getting Keanu into witness protection, into a police officer's care, is like the only way that they would get to keep that cat for more than like 2 weeks.
For real.
Because I was like, what? Just because like they outgun everyone here, they're just going to go back to their regular house, and then this cat is going to be safe.
Right.
Yeah, there's revenge coming for the guys that they killed at that big mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheddar got killed by the cops. There's more people out there coming for that cat. I feel like there could easily be a sequel.
I felt a little weird about Cheddar. I think the performance is really good by Method Man.
Uh-huh.
He's sort of the only character who doesn't have more depth to them than what you see at first,
Mm-hmm.
Except that he really likes the cat.
I mean, that's fair.
I don't know if that's more depth.
That's like a sweet thing
It's
about
a sweet
him.
thing about him.
Yeah.
Makes you like him more.
He's not like playing a straight villain, but I also think even if he was just sort of one note, like, and he didn't get gunned down pretty brutally, I would feel better. But that he gets just like ripped apart, and that's sort of how his thing ends.
Yeah. Not just like that he died, but also that he was betrayed by IC. It like hits those other guys really hard. You see it on all of their faces.
I feel like he maybe wasn't bad enough. Like, if he was supposed to be like the big evil bad boss,
right,
who you feel positive in some sort of way about being out of the picture at the end, like he just needed to be like more sort of vile and intimidating than I think he was. Because we also see that he dresses up his cat in a little chain and do-rag, and that's just cute, so you gotta love that.
Where did he find these materials?
He made them. You know that he sewed that himself.
Oh, see, Cheddar knits. How about y'all do that?
What else does he have to do all day? He's rich as hell. He's just sitting in that strip club listening to the One Future song.
Take some knitting classes.
Emmett, protagonist thoughts? Protag?
It's hard to say because I do think it's got that issue of being a two-hander where it would be easier for me to articulate the change that Clarence undergoes.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels still more like Carell's movie. And I don't know what to make of that. I don't know. There's like some sort of an argument to be made for it being the cat. For like, I mean, it's his name in the movie. He's the one who saves them at the end twice in like pretty dramatic ways.
This is probably the only movie we've done where the title of the movie is a character. And the character is not like the main protagonist of the thing.
That's true. I mean, I think it's the heartwarming story of a man who has lost his way in life. And he finds his way in life is to be a well-respected murderer. And the way that he finds that way is through the love of a sweet little kitten. I mean,
that's how you gotta do it.
That's what I would say is going on in that.
That's one of the things I'm thinking of, too, when I talk about, like, the Peele twist, like, the little, like, nasty bite that this film has. That's there just a little bit, that comes out so much more with the horror films.
Yeah.
Is that, like, it's played for laughs, and it seems they make you seem like the protagonists are happier at the end than they are at the beginning.
But they are in prison.
Yes, they're all in jail. Like, it's not, like, a straight-up happy ending. And I guess, like, the joke is that they're so happy in a bad situation, but, like, the fact that how many movies where, like, an innocent person who gets wrapped up in this crazy thing and then they kill 50 people, like, so often they just are home free at the end, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, the fact that they show, like, the consequences, I think, is a little hint of that horror twist that he's bringing.
I mean, that's the thing that I think contrasts this movie the most for me with a movie like Pineapple Express, where they're just, like, sitting in the diner at the end, and they're all bloody and messed up, but they're like, I guess we should probably go to the doctor now. But, like, this one, no, like, they got caught, and that moment where she kisses him and then is like, you're under arrest, like, cold. She's still playing even there. Unbelievable. I was just surprised that she came back with the cat.
Her character is definitely a much better actor than Jordan's character is.
Yeah,
because she, like, doesn't slip even a little bit through all of their, like, wild romance scene on the rooftop. And he just, like, gives it up immediately.
Yeah, he does.
You're getting a little close there. Too much dip in your chip.
Oh, man.
If we're talking about Peele, I thought that I could maybe just drop some bio.
Oh, yeah, drop some bio.
Since this is the start of our Peele mini-series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are plenty of our listeners who have seen a Key and Peele sketch on YouTube or have watched Get Out, but may not yet be Jordaned. So I just wanted to drop a little bit of the bio here. Jordan Hayworth Peele is born in 1979, 42 years old. He was raised by his single mother in the Upper West Side of New York City.
What?
His father was black and from North Carolina. His mother was white and from Maryland. He graduated from the Calhoun School, and then he went to Sarah Lawrence College for 2 years, which is in New York. It's in Bronxville. It's sort of like the foremost feminist, liberal, like cutting-edge liberalism historical school in terms of colleges. I lived there for a month with my friend Chloe Sariego. Shout out to you, Chloe, the realist. Ooh. It's truly a wild place. I will not elaborate on it any further. But he dropped out after 2 years in 1999 with his classmate Rebecca Drysdale to form an improv duo. Always a good option, kids, I would say. Always drop out of school to form an improv duo. That's Correct. Really what people want to see. So in 2003, he got the gig for Mad TV, which is a very popular sketch TV show. Have either of you guys watched Mad TV?
Oh, I love Mad TV.
Speak on it then, because I've seen very, very little.
It's just like it was just sketch comedy mainly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just like a popular sketch comedy. It's like a little more like weird and a little more of a bite than SNL.
Oh, definitely.
But it was like very popular. He and Keegan-Michael Key, who did not know each other, auditioned for the same part, and they ended up having such good chemistry with each other in the audition that they cast both of them.
Wow. Oh. Wow. Now that really is what you want, kids.
And that's how they met each other. That's how they started working together, which is really sweet. So they were on a lot of stuff on Mad TV together, which I think was like a big deal to the people who watched it, but probably like I don't think the outside world knew a ton about them at this point. But they did, even back then, win an Emmy for their skit Sad 50 Cent, which I watched right before this. Is very good.
Okay, I want to watch that right now.
It's 50 Cent singing like a show tune about coming second in album sales to Kanye West, which won them an Emmy.
That's incredible.
They also were cameoed in Weird Al's White and Nerdy music video.
No way.
Jeez, how did I miss all of this?
So they did that from 03 until 08 is when Peele left. Key stayed on for one season past him. And then they started Key and Peele, which is also a sketch show, together on Comedy Central in 2012. It ran for 5 seasons. It won them a Peabody and 2 Emmys. And every season it was on, it got nominated for like a ton of Emmys. And a lot of it like went viral on YouTube. I would say that's probably most people's like first interaction with Jordan's work is just like seeing some of the sketches on YouTube. There are a lot of famous ones. They also got to perform with President Obama off of the back of their Obama's Anger Interpreter sketches, which are very funny. The show ends in 2015 and they filmed this movie right after.
Wow.
So it's really like a big flex that like they end the show and go straight into doing this like big major label film.
Yeah.
Peele had also shot Get Out in early 2016, so before this movie even came out, which is pretty wild to think about, like how close to each other they are.
Yeah.
Because at this point they were just Key and Peele, like they were just the funny guys, but he had like already finished shooting the movie.
Wow. So he just knew. He was like,
yeah, he went dark real quick.
I'm about to be. He was like, I'm about to be your new favorite horror director. And you don't even know yet, and I'm going to make this comedy and kick ass in it all before I do.
Y'all get one more laugh. Y'all get one.
That pretty much takes us up to this movie. I'll also mention that he started dating the comedian Chelsea Peretti in 2013, and then they got married in 2016.
Chelsea
I don't know
Peretti.
a ton of her stuff, but I know some of our friends really like her. I think she has a podcast too, so I don't want to linger on it too much because I don't want to invite our listeners to the competition. But my one last thing, as an example of the level of detail that I think he's bringing to these scripts, Luis Guzman, who shows up in this film towards the end as like another big bad.
Oh, yeah.
Character he's playing in this film, Diaz, is the same as the character he played in the 2002 PlayStation 2 video game Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Unbelievable.
What?
That is That's so
And
crazy.
This is just like something that Jordan Peele threw in there, but like he's wearing the same outfit and it's the same house
That's so cool.
as in the cutscene on this old PlayStation 2 video game.
Also, I love all of his movie posters in the background. There's movie posters all over the background of this movie, and they're all cool. And then there's the little movie posters he takes with the cat, which are even cuter and more amazing.
Yeah, so cute.
I like the Danny Brown poster he has up. And I like that they go and see a Liam Neeson film called Substitute Teacher.
Is that what I didn't realize that they named it? I do love the part where they're talking about it though.
That's what's on the movie marquee when they're driving away.
So funny.
It's like Liam Neeson in glasses holding a gun, and it says Substitute Teacher.
Irene, right now what we are going to do is we are going to do a quiz called Bums the Word. It is our recurring quiz for this little mini series. And what we are going to do is I'm going on to the IMDb website. I'm looking down under More Like This Movie, and I see the first 6 movies that are named by IMDb as being like this movie. And I'm going to try and get you and Wade to guess what they are. I will give you hints.
I mean, I will probably lose because
I don't know. I think you're both gonna have a pretty rough time, to be honest. These movies are weird. The ones that
I do
they've
not know movies.
set up to be
Okay.
with this. All right,
Okay.
all right.
Let's do it.
So the first entry is not a movie. It is in fact a TV series.
Key and Peele.
You are correct.
Okay.
Okay, that's the one that makes the most sense. Second one. This is a film from 2014. It is an action comedy.
Action comedy?
Action comedy.
Okay.
Starring
anyone from this movie?
no one from this movie. It is starring Jake Johnson and Damon Wayans Jr.
Damon Wayans Jr.
Wayans Jr.
I don't know. I did not know they had some sort of buddy cop comedy movie together.
It's called Fake Cops, Real Trouble.
I've never heard that in my
That's
life.
the name of the movie?
No. That's the tagline. Fake Cops, Real
okay.
Okay, I
Trouble.
was about to say,
Okay.
what?
Sorry, I wasn't
What's
going
the
to
name of
tell.
the movie?
Bad Cops?
No.
That's me guessing a movie title.
Wait, can you... What?
2 struggling pals dress as police officers for a costume party and become neighborhood sensations.
Wait, is it Let's Be Cops?
It is, in fact, Let's Be Cops.
Don't know where I pulled that one out of.
Okay. Next one. It is not a movie or TV series. It is an action short from 2013.
Okay.
Anyone want to hazard a guess as to what the hell this might be?
An action short from 2013?
Yes.
Is it animated?
It is not animated. I will give you a hint. Keanu Reeves is in it.
From
What?
2013?
Wasn't there... Wait, no, you said it wasn't animated.
Is it like a Matrix? Is it Matrix related?
It is not Matrix related.
Is it John Wick related?
It is not. Okay, I'm going to read the description. A short. Keanu's character, Mr. D, kills a man stealing from him. The murdered man's people seek revenge. Also starring Tiger Hugh Chen. Okay. The name of this movie is Extreme Pursuit. Extreme Pursuit from 2013.
Well, God bless.
I don't know where they pulled that movie from.
And these
Yeah,
are... What
what
did you
is
say this
the-
list was under? This was the top 6?
This is the top 6 most like it.
Oh, okay.
Most related
Movies.
Interesting.
Okay. Number 4 is also a TV series. From 2009. Comedy.
Chappelle Show.
No, not The Chappelle Show.
Clone High.
No. Irene is closer with like the single person show sort of idea.
Ooh, Carlos Mencia.
No.
Is this like a talk show or like a sketch show?
This person provides humorous commentary on content from the internet.
Did Daniel Tosh?
Oh.
Tosh.0?
Yep, Tosh.0.
Oh.
Okay, at number 5, a movie from 2016, a comedy about music. When it becomes clear that his solo album is a failure, a former boy band...
Pop star never stop stopping.
You're all...
Pop star never stop never stopping.
That is correct.
What?
The Andy Samberg vehicle. Pop star, never stopping.
That's all you, Wade.
All right.
Because what?
And at number 6, it's a 2015 comedy, also relating to crime, starring two pretty famous comedian actors.
Related to crime.
Related to crime and comedy.
Is it Bad Boys?
It is not Bad Boys.
Is it Ride Along?
It is not Ride Along.
What's the Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan movie?
It is not that.
Rush
Whatever
Hour?
that is. It is not that.
Rush Hour.
Is Kevin Hart in this film?
He is in this film.
You said famous comic actor.
Yeah.
That's the only one we have today. Is The Rock in it too?
Maybe, but he's not the co-star.
He's not the other lead?
Not. The other lead is somebody with less social graces than The Rock, certainly.
But it's not Ice Cube, right?
No.
Because I think that's Ride Along. I'm just thinking of Ride Along.
No, you're thinking of Ride Along. The other actor in this movie is well known for a famous Christmas movie. Where he plays
Michael Caine?
No, where he is incorrectly sized for the type of thing that he is. A movie
Santa Claus?
A movie that you hate?
Oh, Will Ferrell? Will Ferrell? Oh, wait, is it Get Hard?
It is, in fact.
Oh my
Get
God.
Hard, the 2015 Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell.
I forgot that movie existed.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to the pitch of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a strange little... The ones that I'm wondering about here are Tosh.0 and the Extreme Pursuit. I just feel like they could have pulled two better things that were closer on that. But I guess that's an IMDb problem. Congratulations, Irene. You have won the game.
Oh, did I really?
Yes,
Did I really get more than Wade?
Woo!
Wow. Need to have more self-esteem.
So now I would like to ask you both, who is your MVP other than the protagonist, or the protagonists, as the case may be?
Would it be cheap to say the cat? Because I really just like the cat.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I don't know. The cat was so cute and he had a little do-rag on. It was so ridiculous. I'm like, why are you wearing a little do-rag? Where'd you get that from? Yeah, I think also, honestly, I would also just have to say probably Key and Peele just as actors in this movie, just because I've always loved, and Eddie Murphy did it a lot too, back in the day where we were the same person just playing different characters in the same movie. And I've always thought about how exhausting and how interesting and how you really have to have your characterization down of all these different people that you have to be. And I've always really admired seeing that in the movie. So even though the Allentown brothers didn't really say much, but I do always think it's really interesting whenever actors play more than one role in the same movie. I like that a lot.
I love whenever people are acting in parentheses. It's where their character is acting. And it's so now we don't get to just see is this actor a good actor, but now this character is a good, or this character could be a terrible actor. Or there could be moments where this character lets their acting down in the worst possible moment, hopefully. Yeah, and I think the work that they're doing in this is incredible. I totally agree. Wade, who's your MVP other than protagonist?
Mine is Daryl Britt Gibson as Trunk.
Oh, damn it!
He's my favorite of the blips. He's so good. He's so good. I think it should come as a surprise to no one that I love very dumb but sweet characters, especially anyone who has seen me play any character on stage. Really just an archetype that is endlessly amusing to me. I love that he got his name because he locked his keys in his trunk while he had a dead body in there. And then I think he gets one of the best jokes of the movie for me, which is when they've got the neighbor in the trunk. Method Man slams the trunk closed, and then he immediately says, "Yo, you got your keys?"
It's so good.
Dead.
So he's my favorite. Always looking out. Emma, who's your MVP, OTP?
It was going to be him. It was going to be Trunk. But that being said, I'm going to go with Tiffany Haddish in this movie as High C / whatever her cop name is.
She's good.
She's really good in this. Her speech on the rooftop in that strange little romance scene is probably when she is letting the mask down of what she thinks, even when Like, I think that's her mentality. It's just you don't know which side she's fighting on, but she's still like having to fight every day of her life and like living a very rough life as an undercover cop, just as much as she would as a gang member. So, and it's for the same reasons of like wanting her own like personal freedom in life. And I don't know, I think it's really touching. And I also think she's very funny, and her skepticism of being like I always love it anytime you've got like everybody's fooled and then there's the one person like, come on, what's really going on here? And that's her.
This is also her a year before Girls Trip.
Oh, really?
So like Peele really, like, she wasn't unknown, but like this is the only movie she does in 2016.
Whoa.
And then after Girls Trip, she's in like 6 movies every year.
Yeah.
Like, she is in everything. So this is like before her big breakthrough.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like something that I really hated about this past year is like in the past 2 years, like I've started to find like a ton of actors who I like actually care about and like want to see what they do next, you know? And then to have a year where you like don't get to see what anybody does for a year hardly, except for Christopher Nolan, you know, it's like...
I feel like it's going to be weird whenever those movies come out because they also will have been filmed like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like, whenever James Bond comes out and it's bad, like, are we really going to be mad at this 2018 movie?
Probably.
Even if it's the only thing that comes out in 2022, you know? Like, what do you even do?
God.
Yeah.
Much ink will be spilled over it, but let me just be the first to say, all right.
Lovely.
Okay.
What a balanced take.
So I'm just here to provide that nuanced,
Right.
like
That nuanced flop or bop ranking.
like just straight up down. Is it good? Is it horrible? Would I watch it every day for the rest of my life or never again?
That is really the scale you operate on.
For everything, honestly. So, Irene, do you have any final thoughts this evening?
Cat love. All day, every day. Adopt a cat. Love a cat. Love life. Keep pushing. Never give up.
What are these cat poster sayings?
Okay. All right, give us the inspirational words, please. We need them.
Have you ever made a cat calendar with your cat, Irene?
Just to be accurate, I've never made a cat calendar, but I have 330 cat pictures under the folder.
Of your cat? Or
Yes.
of any cats?
Of my cat, specifically.
That's great.
He's so cute. But yeah, no, I think cats are amazing, and this cat was like thank you to all 7 of those cats for doing the damn thing for me. I wonder how hard it is to train a kitten specifically.
It must be tough. Yeah, it did mention something in the thing I read that they all got like Fancy Feast, and that's how they were motivating them to do a lot of the stuff on set.
That sounds like some unpaid advertising. This podcast now sponsored by Fancy Feast. What your cat
Sponsors Fancy Feast.
really wants. Are there any plugs you might have? And where can we find you on the media?
I'm on Instagram at Irene Polk 4, Facebook Irene Polk. Right now in Atlanta, I'm doing Jar the Floor at On Stage. This is March and April. Well, this is going to be airing in April. So you missed it,
this
y'all.
Is middle of
You
April.
suck. You
this
missed
is
it.
coming out.
Well, if it's April, I'm in the middle of packing up Polly, which is also at On Stage. Cool. And that's probably about it. There's not much to be done around these parts right now. But yeah, that's it for me. Trying to catch up on these PlayStation games that are stacking up slowly but surely.
Irene is one of the best in the biz, so if you're in Atlanta, you can go see her.
Not the second best.
No, we just said second hardest working.
Yes, the second hardest. That's true. That's an important distinction.
Not best.
The second hardest working. I won't expose the first hardest working because he's not here to defend himself. But if you know, you know.
Oh man. Wade, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I really like this movie. My only real criticism is I think it goes on for a little bit long in the third quarter, I would say. It gets a little bit samey when we're like in the house and then in the strip club, and it's like we're in the bottom of the strip club, then we go up to the top and they talk, then they go back to the alley, then they go back to the top again. I also feel like because the movie has such like a visual shine, because it looks like a sketch show and they're so used to like making things look good with no money, that it kind of like smooths over the fact that this movie is really in like 3 locations for the whole thing.
Oh, true.
But then I just do think for like a little stretch it runs on a little long before they go off to like the big exciting finale.
Yeah.
Oh, I was truly scarred by the snake eating scene.
Oh my goodness.
Like I was truly haunted by the visual of the snake having half eaten that man in the trunk.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh yeah, and my final thought is that I love that the strip club sign just has R.I.P. Riz written
Yes,
on it.
I was like, bruh.
Also,
Yeah.
the name of the club is HPV.
Yes.
Emmett, what are your final thoughts?
I just think it's cool how it's like a one premise movie, essentially. Like, they're gonna go into these crazy, like, overblown, like, movie version of a gangster character, and that's gonna be funny. And they consistently ring interesting changes on it throughout the different situations. And it's like a sketch that goes on too long and then keeps going and becomes funny again. And is like, oh, this is still funny and it's still interesting, and they keep like getting new stuff out of it in ways that I think are really exciting and like often hilarious to watch.
Yeah, and I would say like along those lines, if you watch this movie and liked it but haven't seen much of the Key and Peele show, like it is a lot of the same sort of humor and like style of characters, and playing with all of that like identity and masculinity in very funny ways. And if you watch this movie and didn't like it, then still watch Get Out next week, because it's pretty different.
Yeah.
It's a turn.
Irene, thank you so much for being here with us. It's been lovely having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, we definitely want to get you back on the show when we do Jurassic Park. We've been
please.
talking about it for a long time. We
Please.
don't know when we're going to do it, but we definitely, I want you to come on and watch one of them, any one of them that you want to do.
Do you like all of them, or do you just like really like the first one?
Well, obviously the first one's undisputed. The second one, it's whatever. But like, unpopular opinion, Hill I Will Die On, I love the third movie. I love the third movie.
Emmett
Everyone
does, too.
hates that movie, but I love that movie so much. I would argue, I don't think I would argue that it's better than the first one, but it's really good. And I like it. I love the third one.
Well, very excited to get into that with you sometime down the road.
Yes.
My favorite is the second one, which is also kind of an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's probably a hotter take, I think.
Well, you want to know my real hot take is that I also love the fifth one. I also love Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, really?
That just came out, which I know like no one likes. But that movie is also because it's like so much about, it's like a callback to the second one, which is the one I loved as a kid. But what I was going to say about the third one is that I had like such a huge crush on Alessandro Nivola as a kid when I watched it.
Which one is that? Is that
He's like the hottie, isn't he?
Billy?
Like the photographer in it.
Yeah.
He's not the little kid, but he's like the teen
Is the
who's
guy
on
who
the journey with
steals
them.
the eggs?
Yeah, he steals the eggs.
Yeah. I also have Jurassic World Uno.
Oh my god.
I'm obsessed, y'all. I'm obsessed.
Did you ever play that terrible old Jurassic Park like 3 computer game? Where you just
I did.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
would drive
God.
around the park on the car and get stuck in different horrible situations.
I also have Lego Jurassic World. See, now y'all got me hyped about dinosaurs. You can't do this to me. not in the fourth quarter.
There's a Jurassic Park game on Switch, but it's just like a park builder.
Yeah. I think that's an app, too.
Yeah, it's just like you design like what your Jurassic World would look like, and then like sim how much you need to feed them each day, and like how to operate it correctly.
Can you sim if it would like have all the dinosaurs escape and eat people, or what?
I think it like does that eventually on its own, but when it does, you just have to be like, okay, this is how much of the budget I can spend on insurance. This is how much time I have to do to get them back. Like it's just like a park, like you are simming as the park manager, And your
Right,
job
okay.
is like doing paperwork about Jurassic Park.
Much love to you. And
Yeah.
thank you for being here. We'll see you again soon, I hope.
Yes, definitely.
Join us next week when we discuss Get Out. Stay frosted. Cinema Bums is a production of DKG Podcast. It is created and produced by Wade Lawrence Holloman and me, Emmett Temple. Wade also edits and mixes this podcast. Our theme music is by Zane Holloman, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our show art is by Autumn Beckner. Our social media is managed by Laura Bennett. If you like what you hear, please tell all your friends and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, the 2 best ways to spread the word about our work. You can also follow us on Instagram at CinemaBums or email us at cinemabumspod@gmail.com. Don't flake on us. We'll be back next week.